Hare Krishna. So, welcome everyone to our today's session on Mahabharata character series. We'll begin with our prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा. So we are discussing the wonderful life and teachings of Kunti Maharani. So last time we discussed how Kunti Maharani, she was born from Shurasena and then she was given to Kunti Bhoj. That's how she got the name Kunti. And then she served Durvasa Muni and she got the benediction of being able to call any Devata. And just out of curiosity, she called Sun God and then ultimately Karna was born. But because Kunti was a small girl still, she just put that small child in the river in a basket. And then we also heard how she was married to Pandu, and then Pandu, because of some unfortunate circumstances, he departed. And then before that, Kunti, she begot children from five devatas because Pandu was cursed. And then after Pandu departed, Kunti, she was brought to the palace of Hastinapur again by the sages. So that's what we discussed so far. So we'll continue. So when the citizens of Hastinapur, they saw these five children who were very well behaved, cultured, having all the good qualities just by their looks, they looked so very powerful, virtuous, that all the citizens they liked these five children and they were thinking, they were hoping that Yudhishthir should become the king. So Kunti, she started living in the palace and she had to take care of the children. She had to, because they had no father. So she had to take care of everything. She had to do the role of a father and mother both. That's why it is said that actually mother can take care of the children alone, but father cannot do so alone because mother she has the capacity to give all the love and she has the capacity to carry out all the responsibilities very nicely. Also it is little difficult, very difficult in many cases, but still women can do it. So Kunti, she was taking care of all the responsibilities very nicely. And of course, Bhishma Dev, he was naturally very affectionate to all these five Pandavas. He also took the responsibility of taking care of the children, and that's how they were living. Although Kunti, she was living in the palace, she was in complete anxiety because she could see the animosity of Kauravas towards the Pandavas, sons of Pandu. And then Duryodhan, he was so very wicked. He plotted along with Shakuni, Karna, and he poisoned Bhima. And then somehow Bhima was saved. So she was in complete anxiety. She was living in the palace, always praying to Supreme Lord Vishnu. This is very important that when we are living our life, practicing spirituality, marching towards God, prayers are integral part of a devotee or a spiritualist. Anybody who wants to come close to God, he has to take shelter of prayers. As it is said, prayers are not like a stepney wheel to be used in emergency. Prayers are like the steering wheel which drive us throughout our life. So prayers are very, very important. We should learn how to pray. We have to pray for strength. We have to pray for intelligence. We have to pray for wisdom. How to pray to Lord? There are various things we should pray when we come in front of the Lord. First of all, prayer going in front of the Lord does not mean that you just go and start asking whatever you want. There is a way of praying also. First, we have to glorify the Lord. We have to show our gratitude for whatever He has given us. We have to glorify Him for His omniscience, for His omnipotence, all knowing, all powerful nature of the Lord. And then we have to admit our condition that I have so many of the uh, unwanted things in my heart which I want to remove, which I want to get rid of. I have so many of the anarthas. Anarthas means that which is not wanted. They are meaningless for a spiritualist. The conditionings of lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion, these are the anarthas. We have to pray to the Lord to purify us of these anarthas. But before that, before asking about ourselves, we should pray for others also. That is very important. We have to pray for others' well being. We have to pray for others' spiritual life, others' health. That is very, very important because that is what actually attracts Krishna's attention. In this world, everybody prays for themselves. So there is no big deal when we are praying for ourselves. But there are very few people who pray for others. And they are recognized by Lord first. And then Krishna, he hears our appeal also. So therefore, first we should pray for others' well-being. And then we should pray for our purification. We should pray for getting a attraction, for a taste in the various practices of spiritual life. For example, meditation, chanting the names of the Lord, reading the various scriptures which are given by the Lord. These are the various prayers we have to offer, you know, and we have to make it a habit. We'll discuss more about prayers in some time because prayers are really very, very important. They are they should be our shelter. Whenever we are in distress, we should honestly, we should, with all our hearts, we should pray to the Lord. So Kunti Maharani, she was praying to the Lord. And then ultimately they were sent to the Laksha Graha, the house made of lac. And then Duryodhan, he was planning to burn all the Pandavas along with Kunti. But somehow by the help of Vidur, they were saved. And there was, at that time, there was a lady who had come with five of her children, and they were staying in that same palace. So they all got burnt. But Pandavas, because they had already come to know, they made a tunnel and they escaped through that tunnel. But everybody thought, oh, Kunti and five sons, they are burnt. So now they were in the forest. And as they were roaming, there was a Rakshasa called Hidimba. he came and attacked these Pandavas. Bhima, he was so very powerful. He he fought with this demon and he killed this demon. This demon had a sister. Her name was Hidimbi. So by seeing the power of Bhima, she got attracted to Bhima and she pleaded with Bhima to accept her. She wanted to marry Bhima. But Bhima, he did not accept this proposal because she was a demoness. Although she had come in a very beautiful form, but Bhima, he did not accept the proposal. So this Hidimbi, she went to Kunti and she started speaking such wonderful philosophy. She said, "Oh, a lady should not be refused by a Kshatriya if she approaches." And then Kunti, she was so very pleased hearing the profound philosophical conviction of this demoness that she actually told Bhima that you should marry her. So that was the power of, that was the knowledge even of people who are seemingly from a demoniac background. So Hidimbi knew all the scriptures also, and she convinced Kunti by her speech. So then ultimately Bhima married Hidimbi, and then Ghatotkach, the famous personality Ghatotkach, was born. And then Pandavas, they came to Ekachakra, and they were staying in the house of a Brahmana in Ekachakra. So this Brahmana, he would take care of them, take care of their needs. Now Pandavas, they were in disguise of Brahmanas. So every day they would go out, beg, and whatever they would get, they would come and give everything to mother. And Kunti, what she would do, she would divide whatever they would get in two halves, and one half will be given to Bhima, and the other half will be shared by Kunti and other four brothers and five Draupadi also. So as actually now so far Draupadi was not there. So the Kunti and the four brothers. So in between Vyasadev he came. Vyasadev, he comes many times in Mahabharata in between, and he keeps giving right type of guidance. And he goes and he would give right guidance to Duryodhana also, Dhritarashtra also. But only difference was Dhritarashtra would not listen to the good advice of Vyasadev. So Vyasadev, he came and he told Pandavas that you please continue to live in Ekchakra and stake the association of Brahmanas on more and more piety. And later I'll tell you when you should go to Hastinapur. So one day, Kunti, she, as all the five Pandavas, they had gone for begging. Kunti, she heard the Brahmana crying, in whom, in that place, in the house of Brahmana, they were staying. So Brahmana, he was crying. So Kunti, she came and she saw what was happening. Brahmana was crying and saying, "Oh, what will happen to my family? You know, how will they live in separation without me? I am so very unfortunate. I cannot take care of the family. Now I have to go." Then Brahmani said, the wife of that Brahmana, she said, "No, no, why you will go? It is a duty of the wife to always assist the husband. I will go. You please take care of the family." Then the daughter said, "No, no, no, both of you please stay. You know, a girl is supposed to serve the parents. I will go. You all please take care. You stay." Then they had a small son also. He was just a few years old. He said, "Oh, why you are all crying? With my power, I will go and kill that demon." And hearing such words from the small child, everybody started smiling. So, Kunti, she intervened at that time and she asked, what was the problem? So they said, actually, there is a demon called Bakasur who is staying nearby. He would come and he would eat the citizens of this village. And the king, he is not able to destroy this demon. So then the citizens, they went to this demon and they made a compromise. They made a deal. They said, why you are troubling us? You want food? Every month we'll send you a cart load of food. And you please be satisfied with that. Bakasur, he said, I will accept that, but one condition. I will eat the person who will get that cart. So from that day on, every month, one person would go from every family. And this month, it is our family's turn. And we are not able to decide who should go. So Kunti, when she heard, she smiled. She said, oh, don't worry, I'll send my son. So Brahmana, when he heard, he was shocked. He said, no, 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 no. How can we accept that? You are our guest. And Kunti, she said, you don't worry, you don't know the power of my son. I will take care of it. And then somehow she convinced this Brahmana. She came back. By that time, all the Pandavas, they came. And he told Bhima, Kunti, she told Bhima. Bhima, he was so very happy, delighted with the prospect of fighting. That is a Kshatriya. You know, Kshatriya means whenever there is a prospect of fighting to establish the religion, he becomes very enthusiastic. You know, somebody was asking how to understand who is a Brahmana, who is a Kshatriya, who is a Vaishya, Shudra, because these terms itself are looked down. You know, people, they don't want to even take these names. But actually, these are not just the external designations, these are the psychophysical natures. Brahmana means an intellectual person who can give guidance. Just like every minister, every government has a team who are think tank. They keep thinking, they don't do anything execution. There are some people who are executioners. They execute the whatever plan is made. That is a Kshatriya. So in olden times, Kshatriya, they were very powerful and they would be so very happy. When they would see blood, they would be happy. You know, how many of us, how many of us are happy seeing blood? You know, so Kshatriya means he should be happy when he sees blood because that gives him more and more impetus to fight, not for religion, to establish the principles of religion. So Bhima became so very happy. He was delighted that now he will fight and save a Brahmana from demon. When Yudhishthir he heard, he became very sad. Although he saw excitement in the eyes of Bhima, he told Kunti, "Oh mother, how could you give that promise? Don't you realize that Bhima is a very, very important asset for us? And he's a very, very powerful personality who can help us gain the kingdom back. He can help us to establish the principles of religion. What if something bad happens?" Kunti, she said, "Oh Yudhishthir, don't you realize the power of Bhima when he killed this Hidimba? He was so very powerful. He single-handedly killed this demon, and you just don't even think about, you know, just think that Yudhishthir, this Bhima will get harmed, you don't worry at all. And moreover, it is a duty of a Kshatriya to protect the Brahmanas. And she says very wonderful thing. This shows the wonderful, mature, and responsible nature of Kunti Maharani. She says, if you take something from somebody, you should always give something in return. Gratitude is very, very important for a spiritualist, you know. So, gratitude plays a very vital role. It is one thing to just say thank you, it is another thing to actually mean thank you, and it is the third thing to actually live by that thank you, you know. So to live by that thank you is very highest principle. To say thank you, anybody can say thank you. That is very superficial. To mean thank you means you actually realize what this person has done to you. That is gratitude. Kritagyata. Krita gya. Krita means what somebody has done, and gya means to know. So one should always remember what others have done for us. Tam sukharadhyam rijubhi ananya sharanairbhir kritagya kono seveta duraradhyam sadhubhi. It is described in the scriptures. Only a sadhu, only a person who is having demoniac qualities, he is ungrateful. Any saintly person will always be grateful, and to actually live by that thank you, that means you should be ready to repay back, and you're ready to serve that personality with whatever capacity you have. That is to live by that thank you. And many people in the society, they blame the saintly people. They say that, oh, these sadhus, they are burden on the society, not doing anything, just living like parasites. But actually, the saintly people, they are supposed to give the charity of wisdom, give the charity of spiritual knowledge. They are not there to take from the world, but to give to the world the spiritual knowledge, the wisdom which is missing, the wisdom of how to live in this world and how to leave this world in right consciousness. Because whether we say it or not, everybody has to leave one day. So, better prepare for that day also. In this world where everybody is running around to make more and more money, just the thought of death, thought of leaving this world, it is so very scary. But actually, it is a fact, as it is said, as sure as death. So, therefore, an intelligent person will endeavor to get the currency which is working in the next world also. Just like if you are going to America or London or any country abroad, one of the things you will do for sure is exchange the currency. Otherwise, you may be billionaires here, but what if that place has no currency exchange bureau? You'll become a beggar there. Similarly, a person may be a billionaire in this world, but if he does not exchange his currency, he will he or she will become a beggar in the next world. That is the knowledge which is given by the scriptures, and that is what is described by the sages, the saintly people. The currency of spiritual life is permanent. Whatever spiritual benefits we acquire in this life, they carry over to the next life. So Kunti, she said, this is a duty and responsibility of a Kshatriya to protect the citizens, to protect the Brahmanas. When Yudhishthir he heard these wonderful words of wisdom from Kunti, he contemplated and he accepted it. And this was the Kunti's sense of responsibility. She was a Kshatriya lady. She knew the responsibility of a Kshatriya. A person who has a responsible position, whoever they may be, everybody has some responsible position in the society. Parents, they have a responsible position to take care of the children. Husband has the responsibility to take care of the family. Wife also has the responsibility to take care of the family and children, you know. So nobody can say, I don't have any responsibility. I don't have anybody under me. Everybody has somebody under them. And this is our responsibility to take care of our subordinates' physical and spiritual well being also. Many times we take care of the physical well being, but we forget to take care of the spiritual well being. So then Bhima, he very happily he went with a cart load of food, and Kunti she knew that this food is not going to reach this demon. On the way, Bhima he was always hungry because as a Brahmana he would not get enough food to eat. So on the way he ate everything, and then he reached this demon, and he had an intense fight and he killed that demon very easily. He came back very happy, but then they had to leave that place because now everybody will come to know, oh, somebody killed this Bakasur. Who is that? And they may be recognized. So Kunti and Pandavas they left that place. While they were leaving, some of the Brahmanas they told Pandavas and Kunti that you go to Drupada's place. In his kingdom, there is a Swayamvar of Draupadi, his daughter, his her Swayamvar is going on. You go to Panchal kingdom and you will got lots of charity there because they thought, oh, these are poor Brahmanas, so they will get charity. So then Pandavas they went, and then ultimately we'll discuss about more about this in Draupadi Swayamvar when we'll discuss about Draupadi. You know, ultimately Arjuna he won the hand of Draupadi, and he came back, and Kunti, you know, without looking, because Arjuna he told Kunti, "Oh mother, look what I have bought, what I have got." So Kunti, without even looking, she would always say that whatever you have got, just divide among yourself. That is what she taught her children. Parents, they have a very, very critical responsibility in shaping their child's thought process. Children, they learn more by seeing than by hearing. We may instruct our children very wonderfully, but if we are not doing what we are telling our children, then they will not accept it. So Kunti, she was taking care and telling such wonderful things to the children. One time somebody sent me a nice picture. One time there was a mother taking her children to the school, and this child he was not so happy. And then a beggar comes. So mother tells the child, if you don't study, you'll become like this beggar. And another picture, this was showing mother taking the child to the school, and she tells to the child, if you study better, you can help this man in a better way. So the same thing, but the total different paradigm. So that is what the responsibility of parents. What type of thought process you are giving to the children? We hear about Dhruv Maharaj, small child, you know, ill-treated by his stepmother. He comes back running, crying. Suniti, his mother, she tells him, "Oh, my dear child, never bear harsh feelings towards your stepmother. You should not think ill of anybody who has done harm to you, because everything is happening according to our karma." That is what is the responsibility of a parent, a father or a mother. So without turning only, she said, "Oh, whatever you have got, please divide among yourself." And there was a complete silence. Kunti, she realized there is something different. She turned around and she saw a beautifully decorated lady standing, garland in her neck and a garland in the neck of Arjuna. She understood, and she was shocked, and she said, "Oh my God, how has this happened? So far, I have never spoken untruth. Whatever I have spoken has come true. Now, how had this happened today?" And she was confused. And then Yudhishthir, he thought about it and he said, "Actually, mother, I think, you know, we all can marry this lady, Draupadi." And somebody may think, how can Yudhishthir say that? Yudhishthir, he says, "Just because this thought is coming in my mind, for sure I can say this is according to the principles of religion." Because he says, nothing irreligious can come in my mind. That is amazing. That is Yudhishthir. That is Dharmaraj. Many times it is the other way around for us. But Yudhishthir says, "I cannot think anything which is irreligious." And then ultimately, you know, he quoted the scriptures also, and we'll discuss more about that in the Draupadi's story when we'll discuss about this Draupadi's case. And then this Draupadi ultimately got married to all the five Pandavas. So this is the power of virtue. When we stick to the principles of dharma throughout our life, for sure, Lord helps us to follow the dharmic principles better. As it is said, dharmo rakshati dharmaha. Dharma is protected by dharma itself. In this world where people are ready to do anything just to get money, they don't care about virtue. They are ready to do anything to gain wealth, fame, recognition. They are ready to transgress all the moral values without even thinking. Transgressing moral values has become a norm now. And people, they don't realize the more they go away from the moral values, the more it is difficult to come back, because the inertia is so very strong. Even if somebody thinks enough of this religion, I want to come back to the right path, the inertia will not allow this person to follow the principles. So therefore, we should abide by the principles of religion, which are laid down by God, which are there in Bhagavad Gita, in the scriptures, as far as possible. And then Lord will help us to make right decisions. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, "Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam tadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te." Krishna gives assurance. Whoever comes and practices the religious principles, worships me with faith, I give them the intelligence. So Kunti's words, they were so much filled with piety, truthfulness, devotion, chastity. So therefore, they came true. and eventually Draupadi was married to the Pandavas. And then ultimately the Pandavas, they came back, and they asked for the kingdom. So Dhritarashtra, he gave Khandavprasth, which was a barren land. And but Pandavas, they were so very powerful. They made a city, wonderful, flourishing city there with the help of Mayadanav. And then at the Rajasuya Yagya, Kunti, she was so very happy because her sons, she was seeing her sons as the rulers of the earth. And she was also happy because Krishna, Lord of Kunti, he was glorified as a supreme person. He was given Agra Puja. Agra Puja means the first worship in the assembly, declaring that Krishna is a supreme person. So Kunti, she saw Yudhishthir becoming king, and she saw Krishna glorified as supreme being. This is a duty of every living being. We have our spiritual duty and we have our material duty also. Many times we very nicely execute our material duties, but in course of our material duties we tend to forget the spiritual duties. Material duties should help us in the progress of dharma. Spiritual duties should bring us close to loving God. Both are equally important. And Kunti, she did both these responsibilities very nicely. Duryodhan, then, when he saw the glory of Pandavas, how opulent they were, he became so very envious. And ultimately, he plotted against them, called Yudhishthir for a gambling match, and snatched away everything. Within few moments, Kunti, she saw her sons becoming beggar from great kings, but she was helpless. She could not do anything. She was just the passive observer because none of the elderly personalities, none of the Kaurava elders said anything. And Kunti, she was really in distress. Then Pandavas had to go to forest. Kunti also wanted to go, but Vidura, he came and requested Yudhishthir that you please keep Kunti under my shelter. She's too old. She'll not be able to take care of the. She'll not be able to survive the austerities of the forest. So then Kunti stayed. She told Draupadi. Now this is very interesting. So Pandavas, all five Pandavas are going to the forest along with Draupadi. Kunti specifically, she told Draupadi, please take special care of Nakul and Sahadev, because she had promised Madri that I will take care of them very nicely. And throughout her life, she followed that. That is the commitment, you know, that is a dedication to live by the words. In this way, 12 years passed, and Kunti, she was in great distress. She started doing lots of tapasya, fasting, praying to the Lord so that her sons may remain safe. And then she came to know about, this, in this Agyatavas, the last year, she had no information of where were the Pandavas. Then she came to know about the Virat war, and Duryodhan then and the party recognized that Pandavas are still alive and they fulfilled the 13 years of Vanvas. But he was not giving the kingdom back. Kunti, she was just passively observing everything, praying all the while. Many times we will be faced with situations in which we won't be able to do anything. As it is said, what when we don't know what to do, we should know what to do. You know, many times this will happen. We'll not be able to understand what we should do now. But what we do in those circumstances determine our real mindset. Just like a sponge, if it is completely soaked in water, when it is pressed, water will come out. Similarly, the more we imbibe the principles of religion, the more we practice this principle of praying God, praying to Krishna, turning to Krishna when we are having no difficulties in life. Sincere cultivation of this art of praying. As it is said, the more we sweat in peace, the less we bleed in war. The more we cultivate this habit of praying sincerely, honestly, when things are well, it is more likely that when calamities come, we will turn to Krishna and will turn to the people who are saintly. We'll be grateful. Many times when problem comes in the life, people they start blaming God. That means they have not accepted the spiritual life. They have not understood the philosophy. Many times people they follow spirituality when everything is going on well. They are called good time, good weather devotees. Everything is going on good in my life, okay, I'll accept God also. But when things are going wrong, oh, why God is doing this? I did so many things. Still problems are coming. I went to temple, I gave donations, I helped people. Still why problem is coming? That means we have not understood the philosophy. We have not understood God. So Kunti, she had to undergo so many problems, but she kept praying to God. So when we don't know what to do, we should know what to do. That is to turn to the saintly personalities, turn to God and seek their guidance. And then the war was evident. Krishna, he came to meet Kunti before the war. And when he came as peace messenger, he came to meet Kunti also. And Kunti, because she was the aunt of Krishna, she had a loving relationship with Krishna. She was aware of Krishna's divinity also. She knew Krishna is God. So she told Krishna, oh Krishna, I know that Duryodhana is not going to listen to you, but still you are trying so much. So Pandavas, they had sent some message through Krishna, and Kunti, she replied to those messages, always remembering her children. And as Kunti said, Duryodhan didn't listen. On the contrary, he tried to arrest Krishna, and then the war was evident. And war started. Every day, millions of warriors were killed. Kunti, she was getting the news of warriors getting massacred every day. And then she had to hear the news of so many of the beloved getting killed. And then ultimately she heard the news of victory of the Pandavas. But she also came to know that after the war was over, then the five sons of Draupadi who were remaining, they were very brutally killed by Ashwatthama, beheaded. She underwent all these sufferings, tolerating all these. Only Parikshit was remaining in the womb of Uttara. Then the war was over. All the Pandava warriors, headed by the Pandavas, who were remaining, only few were remaining. Only 5, 7 personalities were remaining. And Pandavas, they had to do the tarpan, offer water to the departed soul. So Kunti, she came to the bank of Ganga where all this ceremony was going on. All the warriors, they were offered water. Her heart was shattered because not only because of the colossal bloodshed, but also because of the secret sorrow which she had in her heart. What was that? That was the identity of Karna. And that was troubling her a lot. Kunti, after she had, put her child in a basket, she didn't even know what happened to the child. First time she came to know about her child in that famous exhibition match when Karna entered with Kavacha and Kundal. And Kunti, she was so very happy, and at the same time, she was so very sad because Karna was against Arjuna. She fainted actually, and then somehow she was brought back to consciousness. She could not do anything. She could not share this secret with anyone. She just suffered, agonized to see how Karna was manipulated by Duryodhan, how Duryodhan was using Karna, and she saw enmity growing between Pandavas and Karna, and this became worse, more and more bitter. Then, before the war started, she thought better to lose the honor than to lose the son. She went because she wanted to tell Karna his identity. So every day, Karna, he would offer oblations to Surya. He was naturally attracted to sun god. So Kunti, she went. Generally, women were not allowed to go alone, but Kunti, because she was elderly lady, she could, go alone. She went, and it was, sun, mid noon sun, and Karna, he was offering oblations to Surya Dev, and Kunti was standing in the sun, sweating. Karna, after he completed his offering, he turned and he saw a lady looking very royal, regal. He came near and realized, oh, she is the mother of the Pandavas, you know, and she was sweating. So Karna, he offered his respects and he said, oh, venerable lady, what can the son of Suta do for you? Kunti, she started crying. She had, she had her eyes on the ground. She could not look at Karna. She said, and then somehow she managed to look up. She said, oh Karna, please don't call yourself son of a Suta. Actually, you are my son, and I begot you from Surya. As she was saying, her heart was pumping very, strongly. Palpitations were there. Karna, when he heard this, he was completely shocked. And first time he understood why he was so very attracted to Surya. And then Kunti, she described the whole story, how she begot Karna from Surya, and then ultimately she had to, put Karna in the river. And then she said, now I can't see my two sons fighting. Please join the side of Pandavas. They will give you the kingdom. They will make you the king. But Karna, he became harder, and he strongly said, all my life you denied me the honor I deserved. All my life I had to hear the words Sut Putra, and now you have come. And I don't think you have come to give me the honor. I think you have come to save your sons. Kunti, when she heard this, she was in tears. Many times we judge others by their intentions, we judge others by their actions, and we judge ourselves by our intentions. You know, whatever a person is doing, we start judging him by the actions. But when we are there, we think, oh, I didn't mean it. I may have acted wrongly, but I didn't mean it. Most of the time, relationship issues happen because of misunderstandings. As it is said, assumptions, when you assume some things about some person, assumptions, they are like termites in relationships. Slowly, the relationships become hollow from within, and we don't even realize when the whole building will collapse. So, therefore, we should never assume things, better ask and clarify rather than building up this, you know, misunderstanding and confusion. Because of our false ego, many times we cannot just go to the person and ask, what is the problem? What was the actual thing? What was his story? You know, and many times, only thing which is required is to just say sorry. But because of our ego, we can't say even sorry. The simple word doesn't come out of the mouth. Even though we are right, we may be right, but just this one word can save relationships. Many times, when we say sorry, that does not mean we are wrong. That means we value the relationship more than being right. You know. So therefore, we should not start judging people. Just clarify the doubts, clarify the confusions. Kunti, when she heard, she was in complete agony. She remembered how she had suffered, when she had to put that small child in the river. She said, Karna, I have come just for your good. Please listen to my words. Karna had steeled his heart. He said, Oh, mother, if you are concerned about your 5 sons, I give you a promise. I take a vow, your 5 sons will remain. I will not kill Yudhishthir, I will not kill Bhima, I will not kill Nakul or Sahadev, but I cannot leave Arjuna. So either Arjuna will die or I will die. Your 5 sons will remain. So Kunti, she understood that Karna is not going to listen. She extended her hands, and Karna, he could not stop himself. He ran and embraced Mother Kunti. With a heavy heart, Kunti, she departed because she knew she is not going to see her son again, because she knew Arjuna is more powerful than Karna. So now war was over. This Kunti was going to offer to have last, darshan of all these departed soldiers. She again, she made her heart very, very strong, went to Yudhishthir, and she said, "O son, you have not offered water to one of your relatives." Yudhishthir, he thought and said, "No, mother, I have offered for everybody." She said, "Offer waters for Karna also. He was your elder brother." When Yudhishthir, he heard this, he was completely shocked. He started lamenting, "Only if I would have known this before, I would have given this kingdom to Karna. We could have stopped this entire colossal war. But now everything is gone." King Kunti said, "Oh Yudhishthir, please don't lament. I went to Karna, tried to convince him, but he didn't agree. And actually, he only told me that he please don't tell Yudhishthir also." So Yudhishthir, he remembered, and then he told the promise which Karna gave him, that he will not kill the 4 Pandavas. Yudhishthir remembered how on the 17th day, although Karna, he very fatally injured Yudhishthir, but he didn't kill him. Yudhishthir, he felt so very despondent. He said, we could have avoided this bloodshed, but somehow, because you didn't tell me, now this entire field has become a ground full of blood and dead bodies. Ultimately, he offered waters for Karna also, and then Yudhishthir was coronated as king. Kunti, she could have lived royally, but after Gandhari and Dhritarashtra, they went to forest. Kunti also went to forest, and she performed uh, lots of austerities and departed from the world and attained the spiritual world. Externally, the end may not be good in Mahabharata, but Mahabharata describes the another world where things are eternal. That is what is the goal of a spiritualist. Things in this world may go well, may not go well, but we should not get disturbed by them. We should always keep our eyes focused on the ultimate goal. That is called Shreya. Prayer and Shreya. Prayer means short term goals. Everybody of us, we have to take care of so many responsibilities, our family responsibility, our job, our society, but we should not forget our ultimate responsibility. And Kunti, she perfected her life, attained that perfection. So in Mahabharata, Kunti is described as a very stately lady and royal queen. Bhagavatam gives a more intimate picture of Kunti Maharani. First canto of Srimad Bhagavatam describes the wonderful devotional sentiments of Kunti. The eighth chapter, which is entitled as the prayers of Queen Kunti. So after Krishna, he saved Parikshit and he was leaving. Kunti, she comes and starts offering beautiful, beautiful prayers. And in those prayers, she reveals the whole world her convictions about this spiritual knowledge, who she was. She, first of all, he acknowledges Krishna as a supreme personality. And she says, oh my Lord, although so many calamities came in my life, Vishan Mahagne Purushad Darshanad Asat Sabhaya Vanavasa Krichrataha Mridhe Mridhene Kamaharathastrato Draunyastrataschashma Hare Bhirakshita. So she says, oh my Lord, so many problems, calamities came in our life. Bhima was poisoned. Then we had to go through this fire in Lakshagraha. Then we had to face this man-eating demon Bakasur. And then Draupadi was about to be disrobed. So many calamities happened. But I don't care about all of them. I have only one desire, that these calamities may come again and again. Somebody may think, what type of prayer is this? Actually, she says, when calamities come, we'll think about you, then you will come, you will save us. So we don't have to offer such type of prayer if we are not on that level. At least we can pray to give us conviction and faith to go through the problems of our life. You know. So the prayers of Kunti Maharani are full of intense devotional disposition and classical philosophical conviction. These two things are very, very important. Coming to spiritual life does not mean just just a sentimental way of serving God. We have to develop loving sentiments towards Krishna, but that sentiment should be based on strong philosophical conviction. If we are convinced about why we are doing what we are doing, then we will not get confused. We will not get bewildered when apparent reversal come in life. We don't want to be a good weather devotee. We want to be a very strongly fixed up spiritualist. So she in her prayers describes the actual position of Krishna. She describes her real mood of devotion. She says, "Oh my Lord, you are the supreme. You have protected my sons, and I just want to focus on your lotus feet." And in this way, she offers wonderful, wonderful prayers. And she ends her prayers by glorification of Krishna. How Krishna is a supreme Lord, he is a friend of Arjuna. And then in response to those prayers, Krishna smiles. So although Kunti, she is not a very prominent character in many parvas of Bhagavata, but she, by her wonderful example, by her wonderful exemplary devotion, by her wonderful conviction, she has played a very important major role in the life of Pandavas. And Kunti, she is successful because her success was she remembered Krishna in all the circumstances. That is a glory of Kunti Maharani. So that's how she is a very sterling example of motherhood and devotion. So we'll stop here. This is the story about Kunti Maharani. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. So
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving us such a uh, different kind of understanding about Kunti Maharani. Maybe some of us did not know so much about her and her glory. But one of the things which came to my mind that under all circumstances, she showed the quality of gratitude. So this is how in our own lives, when things are not going positive, but still to feel grateful. Is there some Ramban kind of a thing, or it's some kind of a practice which we have to do? So if you could throw some light on that.
okay. Yeah. So how to be grateful in all the circumstances? Many times people they blame God for the calamities which come in their life because of various reasons. You know, one thing is they don't understand that who is God. Krishna is called Karuna Sindhu. That means he's an ocean of mercy. He is the person who gave the position of nurse, mother to a demoness who came to kill him. So Krishna by nature is very loving, very compassionate, very merciful. So he never likes to put anybody in problems. It is we who suffer our own actions. As we know, every action has equal and opposite reaction. So whatever we may have done in this life or in the past life, we will get the reaction. And Krishna has nothing to do with whatever good or bad is happening in our life. Of course, he intervenes when somebody comes to him, and then he takes care of our account of good and bad reactions personally. That is what that is the extra privilege which is given to a devotee. And Krishna is such a wonderful personality. It is said that when somebody comes close to him just one step, Krishna takes also one step, but his one step is unimaginable, you know. So, just like when a seed is roasted and sown in the ground, will it sprout? No, it will not sprout. Similarly, when somebody comes to the spiritual life, starts practicing devotion, service, then whatever reactions which are about to come, they are roasted. They are like the seeds which are roasted, and then they don't fructify. So it is said by Krishna that actually I minimize the reactions of living entities when they come to me. That should be the foundation of gratitude. And actually, we should be grateful that Krishna is not saying, oh, this person is not coming to me. I'll not give him sun. I'll not give him moonshine. I'll not give him air. I'll not give him water. No. Krishna is like a father who takes care of all his children, even if the child is not obedient. But if some of the child is obedient, father takes special care, gives more attention to that child. So everybody should be grateful for whatever they have received from God. Some people realize it, some people don't realize, you know. And especially when we come to spiritual life, we should be really grateful because Krishna is so very eager to help his devotees. That's what Krishna is telling to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhaktah pranashyati. O Arjuna, you declare boldly that my devotee will never perish. So being grateful is not actually a part of spiritual life, not a part of bhakti. Being grateful is bhakti. Gratitude is devotional service. When we are grateful for whatever we have received, that is like a fertile ground where the seed of devotion will grow. Our faith will increase more and more if we are grateful. And that is based on a very profound understanding that Krishna, God, is supremely merciful, and we are, although insignificant, just like an ordinary citizen staying in a Dharavi slum, what chance he has to go and meet president or prime minister? Similarly, we are insignificant, you know, and to for us to get mercy of God is actually unimaginable. But Krishna is like that father who comes down at the level of his child and picks him up. You know, so Krishna is there for everybody. He's there in the heart of everybody as Paramatma. So we have to be grateful for that. Never ever blaming God, because we are not so big that Krishna will put troubles in our life, and actually he has no reason also, because he does not like doing it. Why he'll do it? All the living entities, they are like his sons. So therefore, this is the foundation of being grateful always, that Krishna is there for me to help. Whenever I need it, Krishna is there. And therefore, we have to develop this habit of praying to Krishna always. We have to pray for this quality of gratitude also. It will not come automatically. We have to endeavor for it, you know. And then slowly it will sink in. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Another thing, a statement which you made was about Kunti Maharani, which that she remained a passive observer, and sometimes even in our lives, when there are certain situations which are um, very volatile or very traumatic or something which we actually cannot control, but we still cannot remain passive observers. We put our hands in that, and knowingly that the only benefit by doing that will be that we'll burn our own hands. So, or it will not make any difference even if I don't burn my hands, but it's not going to make any difference because my control over in this situation is absolutely negligible. So how can we train ourselves to understand where we have to be a passive observer and where we have to, you know uh, put some action into the thoughts which are there going on in our heads?
Okay. So yeah, many times it will happen, but When to become passive, that will have to decide, using our intelligence at that point. And of course we have to try first, you know but Kunti, she was in a position she could not do anything actually. So we, whenever some problem comes, we cannot just say, oh, I cannot do anything. We have to try first. And even after trying, you know nothing happens, nothing works out. Just like somebody is suffering from some chronic disease, he tried his best, tried all types of therapy, allopathy, homeopathy, ayurveda, naturopathy, whatever, all the pathis he tried, but it didn't help. Then rather than getting frustrated, rather than getting irritated and blaming God, what we can do is, what that person can do is just accept the situation as it is. That will make the mind peaceful. you know so that intelligence is actually given by Krishna when he sees that this person is really endeavoring his best, using his intelligence, and now he wants to come to this conclusion. So Krishna will give the understanding. That is the rule of God. But we have to show our endeavor also. When we endeavor and then nothing works out, then we should just accept it. And in that situation, we should have somebody to guide us. Because many times when we are in those situations, things bewilder our intelligence. So all of us, we should have some superior, some senior who can guide us, whom we can take shelter of, whom we can ask, go and reveal our mind. And then when Krishna, he sees that, oh, this person is actually humbling himself and going to somebody else and asking for the solution, that itself, you know we may be knowing the answer. Many times it happens, we may be knowing the answer, but when we ask the same question to some of the superior persons, he gives the same answer. It clicks, because Krishna, he recognizes that now this person has become humble, and he gives that intelligence. So two things are required. First of all, we have to endeavor using our intelligence, and then we have to take shelter of some superior people, some intelligent saintly people who can guide us. And of course we have to read the scriptures every day. That is like eating our meals. When we eat our food, it nourishes our body. When we read scriptures, it nourishes our intelligence, and that's what will help us in our difficult times. So the saintly personalities, the scriptures, they are very, very important to come to the right understanding. When to stop and when to continue pursuing the things. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. If anybody else has any question and that they would like to ask, I think Prabhuji, everybody is very satisfied. So thank you very much for a lovely session. So next week we will have a session on Draupadi, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Next will be on Draupadi.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Hare. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Right.